In this world, out of all 147 intoxicants, the finest and most supreme intoxication is love for an older, full-figured woman. Black Heart. Heartbreak title. The Sweetest Addiction, Mary and Ethan's Story. Among all the intoxications of the world, the finest one is falling in love with a mature, full-figured woman. It was a gray afternoon in Seattle, the kind of day when the rain doesn't pour, it whispers. Ethan Miller, 29, sat in the corner of a quiet cafe, his laptop open but untouched. He worked as a freelance writer, mostly for travel blogs and online magazines, but today his mind wasn't on words. The doorbell chimed softly, and she walked in, Mary Thompson. She wasn't young, she wasn't slim, but there was something profoundly magnetic about her. Her presence filled the room, not with beauty as magazines describe it, but with warmth, grace, and a quiet authority. Her laughter, low and confident, cut through the murmurs like music. Ethan found himself staring, not out of lust, but out of curiosity. There was a calm in her eyes that people his age never had. A peace that came from surviving storms. She took a seat 2 tables away, ordered chamomile tea, and opened a book, Letters to a Young Poet. Ethan smiled to himself. Of course she reads Rilke. The first conversation, he gathered the courage and walked over. "Excuse me," he said softly, "I couldn't help but notice, that's my favorite book." She looked up, amused. "Is it really? Or are you just trying to start a conversation?" Ethan laughed nervously. "Both, honestly." She smiled, the kind of smile that melts away hesitation. "I'm Mary," she said, extending her hand. Ethan. That's how it began. The age gap. Mary was 44, divorced for 5 years, working as an art therapist. Her hands were soft but strong, the kind of hands that had built things and broken them too. Ethan, with his restless youth, found in her a strange kind of peace. She didn't play games. She didn't hide behind screens or filters. When she spoke, she looked into your eyes and meant every word. "You're too young," she told him once, smiling as they walked by Lake Union. "And you're too beautiful to be alone," he replied. She laughed, shaking her head. "Flattery doesn't work on women my age." "I'm not flattering you," Ethan said quietly. "I'm confessing." There was silence then, the kind that doesn't demand words. The sweet addiction. Days turned into weeks. Ethan started visiting her studio more often. She'd paint while he wrote. Sometimes they didn't speak for hours, just shared space, shared time. Her body fascinated him, the softness, the fullness, the warmth that came from being real, not rehearsed. When he touched her hand, it wasn't the thrill of first love, it was the comfort of coming home. He realized then what people mean when they call something an addiction. It wasn't lust, it was peace, addictive peace. He was addicted to her laughter, her slow way of speaking, the scent of her vanilla perfume mixed with turpentine from the studio. Mary's fear. But Mary was scared, not of love. She had known love, lost it, buried it. She was scared of judgment. "What will people say, Ethan?" she asked one evening. "That you've lost your mind? That I'm desperate?" Ethan looked at her, his eyes steady. "People already think I'm lost," he said. "Maybe I finally found where I belong." She tried to smile, but tears betrayed her. "Ethan, you'll change. You'll wake up one day and realize you want someone young, someone who fits into your world." He shook his head. "You are my world." The storm. One night, after a small argument about his friends making fun of their relationship, Mary pulled away. She stopped answering his texts, didn't show up at the cafe, didn't pick up his calls. Ethan went mad with confusion. He went to her apartment in the rain, knocking until his hands went numb. When she finally opened the door, her eyes were swollen from crying. "I can't do this, Ethan," she whispered. "You deserve a different life. And you deserve love," he said firmly. "Don't push it away because the world doesn't understand it." She broke down then, falling into his arms. The thunder outside matched the rhythm of their hearts. Love without apology. After that night, they stopped hiding. He'd hold her hand in public, kiss her forehead at crosswalks, walk with her through farmers' markets without caring who stared. Some people looked, some whispered, but others smiled, the kind of smiles that come from seeing real love. Mary's friends were the first to soften. They saw the change in her, the light in her eyes, the color back in her cheeks. And Ethan's writing flourished. He wrote articles about authentic love, unfiltered beauty, and the courage to choose differently. One of his essays went viral, titled, "The Sweetest Addiction," describing love as a mature woman's embrace. He wrote, "The world teaches men to chase youth and perfection. But perfection is cold, Real warmth comes from a woman who has lived, loved, lost, and still chooses to open her heart again. Mary cried when she read it. The proposal. A year later, they returned to that same cafe where it all began. Mary looked out the window at the soft Seattle drizzle. Ethan reached across the table, took her hand, and said, "I want to grow old with the woman who taught me what love means." She laughed through her tears. "You already found her," she whispered. He smiled. "Then let's make it official." He pulled a small silver ring from his pocket, not a diamond, just a simple band engraved with, "My favorite addiction." Mary gasped, covering her mouth, then nodded through tears. The cafe burst into gentle applause. Epilogue. 3 years later, Ethan and Mary lived in a small house near the sea. He wrote books now, stories inspired by her laughter, her patience, her strength. She still painted, sometimes making portraits of him half asleep in the sunlight. Their love became something beyond romance, it became ritual. Coffee together at dawn, a walk by the beach at sunset, a kiss goodnight that still carried the same warmth as the first one. And every year, on that rainy afternoon in October, they returned to the same cafe. They'd sit quietly, holding hands, smiling at the doorbell each time it chimed, remembering how it all began. Closing line. The world has 147 forms of intoxication, Ethan once wrote in his journal. But only one that heals instead of destroying. The love of a woman who is not afraid to be real.